In part one, I talked about the different grass types and the different characteristics of each of them. In this video, I'm going to be focusing on actually reading the grass seed bag and understanding what you're getting in the bags. So let's get out of the weeds. Thank you for coming back to yet another video. If you guys like these videos, please be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. So now that you're equipped with the different information about the different grass types, it's now time to go into the store and you're going to be bombarded with all kinds of different packaging and different labels. And so I want to kind of cut through all the packaging and kind of give you guys an easy way to figure out what you can get so you can make the best choice and best decision for your lawn. Fall renovations are going to be coming up very soon, so over the next few weeks you want to start thinking about what type of grass you want to get if you're going to be doing any seeding projects in the fall. So when you walk into your store that sells grass seed, you're going to see a wide variety of different packaging, all with kind of broad term labels for people who don't really want to dive in deep. And so you'll see the likes of classic seed, you'll see sun and shade, you'll see dense shade, you'll see high traffic grass. And so all those terms are well and good, but if you really want to have a really good lawn, you want to dive a little bit deeper than that and really understand what's in your bag. So you can probably get a good guess of what's going to be in the bag just by reading the packaging. But I want to dive a little bit deeper than that and actually read the back of the bag to really see what's in there. And so now I have a bag of grass seed here with me. And so this is just an example of a grass seed that I've used before that I really like. And it's Jonathan Green Black Beauty. So Jonathan Green, most of their products are going to be turf type tall fescue. And so as I talked about in my first video, you know that turf type tall fescue is going to be a grass that's really good just kind of all around. It's good in drought, it's good in wet conditions, it's good in full sun, and it can still do pretty good in some shade. And so it's just a really good all-around grass, and it is a bunch type of grass. When you look at the front of the bag here, you just see Black Beauty Ultra Premium Grass Seed Mixture. And then if I read down here, it says it's our best grass seed varieties. So it doesn't really tell you too much. And so what you gotta do is you flip these bags over, and every single bag of seed that you see in the store will have a little tag on the back that gives kind of an in-depth description of what you're actually getting in this bag. So here's a close-up of the label on the back of this Black Beauty bag. And so you can see here, if you look on the very far left, you'll see seed description. And so in this mix, you have 3 different types of turf type tall fescues, a perennial ryegrass, and the Kentucky bluegrass. And so it is a mixture of all 3 of those types of grasses. Now, when you see the name before the actual grass type, so for example, at the top, Montana tall fescue, what those are is now you have turf type tall fescue, but now you have a different cultivar of turf type tall fescue. They're developing these seeds to have different characteristics than another. So for example, if you were to compare Montana tall fescue to Tombstone tall fescue, they might be very similar, but one of those might be more disease resistant, while the other one maybe gets a darker green, or maybe it can do better in shade while the other one's better in sun. And so you're going to get slight differences within them, but overall they're going to have the full characteristics of turf type tall fescue. And so now you're going to see hundreds of different cultivars of each of the different grass types. So if you really want to do a deep dive, you can actually look up each of the individual cultivars and you can actually see how they get rated. So there's actually an organization that will actually rate the grass seeds by the different characteristics. So for like if ones that do well in sun, ones that do well in shade, drought tolerance, kind of things like that. Now in this one, we know we're going to get a kind of good mix of a little bit of everything in this bag. And now also we're going to get a fast germination period because it does have the perennial ryegrass in there. So in the first video I talked about how perennial ryegrass germinates between 4 and 7 days. whereas like a Kentucky bluegrass is usually 20 plus days to germinate. And so by having that perennial ryegrass in there, you're going to be getting a quick germination, so you're going to get results very quickly with this grass. So with this bag, where you're getting the Kentucky bluegrass, perennial rye, and turf type tall fescue all in the bag, you're getting a good variety of grass seed just in this bag. And so whenever they're coming up with these different seed mixtures, they're combining in different cultivars of those grass types to get you a really high quality bag of grass seed. Now continuing on this sheet here, you see to the right of the seed description the germination percentage. Now that's the actual percentage of those grass seeds, that the percentage of the seed of that type that will actually germinate. So for a point of reference, you want to make sure that any grass seed you're buying, you want that percentage to be 85% or higher. If it's below 85%, chances are you're buying some cheap grass seed. Then on the far right, you're going to see the point of origin. So a lot of the grass seed we're going to get is going to usually be from either Washington or Oregon, or kind of the two main places where we're seeing that. So then when you go back to the seed description, if you look under the Kentucky bluegrass, you're going to see other crop seed. So what other crop seed is it can be actually other grasses that we don't typically use for our home lawn. An example of this would be like orchard grass. It's a grass, but it's not something that you would want in your seed mixture for your home lawn. And so it gets put under the other crop seed as opposed to going to a weed, because it's technically not a quote-unquote weed, but it is something that's not desirable in your grass. So you do want that to be a lower percentage. The next one below that is inert matter. And so inert matter is just simply extra stuff that just happened to get in the bag. And so whenever they're getting the seeds to put in the bag, you're going to get pieces of grass in there. You're going to get different dirt to get in there, and so just different debris. And so that's what the inert matter is. So just kind of stuff that's just kind of neutral. It's just a little bit of it in the bag. And then finally below that is going to be the weed seed. So that is the percentage of weed seeds that are in your bag. Now this is a huge differentiator between good grass seed and bad grass seed. Now you're going to see in good quality premium grass seeds, you want that number to be 0. You don't want to have any weed seeds, because those are just weeds you're going to be introducing to your lawn whenever you're seeding. With that, you're going to actually pay probably a little bit more money to get a grass seed mixture that is weed free, as opposed to if you go out and buy cheap grass seed, you will see a higher percentage of weed seeds in that. And so that's just more competition for your new grass growing up if you're putting your own weeds down in your lawn. Then lastly, you can see at the bottom a list of the different states, and it gives you a use by date. So this is very important just to pay attention to, because if you're buying your grass seed from a big box store that has a ton of these pallets of grass seed, some of them may not have sold from the previous year and could be out there and just be up there for you to grab and buy, and you don't know the difference. And so make sure you pay attention to the use by date and make sure you're not getting old seed. For the most part, they should shuffle that out and make sure that the fresh stuff's there for you to grab, but just you can never be too cautious. So just give a quick look there. Make sure you're not past the expiration date of the grass seed. And so that way you're getting good, fresh grass seed to put on your lawn. So now, as I did some of my research for this video and I looked at a lot of different grass seed bags, I want to kind of do a quick overview and show you some of the differences of stuff that you can find in your stores.
Welcome to Guess That Grass! In this game show, I'm going to be showing you different types of grass seed bags, and you are going to have the chance to guess what type of grass is in that bag. Beginning with our first one, we have the Executive Sun Mix. You sin, full sun. Now let's look what's in that bag. If you flip to the back, we see perennial ryegrass and Kentucky bluegrass, both grasses that are good in full sun. For our next grass bag, we have a lawn seed mixture for sun and shade. We flip the bag over, and what do you know? Some Kentucky bluegrass along with some fine fescue. If you also take a look here, as an added bonus there, you get a little bit of that annual rye to get some quick germination, but it will die off after that first year. With our next grass, we come in with the Scott's Turf Builder Rapid Grass. Sun and shade mix. Grows 2 times faster. What do you think could be in this bag? We flip it over and what do we got? Ooh, perennial rye, some fine fescues, and some Kentucky bluegrass. We get the rapid germination because of that perennial ryegrass in that bag. Lastly, we got the Jonathan Green Black Beauty for dense shade. Produces a dark green lawn in 14 to 21 days. What do you think could be in this bag? Flip it over, and we got tall fescue, the turf type kind, so that's the good stuff, along with some fine fescues and some Kentucky bluegrass. And for quick germination, we even got a little bit of perennial rye. You get a little bit of everything in this bag. Great for the shade.
Lastly, once you have made the determination of what type of grass seed you're going to go with, you need to make sure you get enough. Now, there's going to be 2 rates on all grass seeds that you're going to see. There's going to be an overseeding rate, and then there's going to be a new seeding rate. And so make sure, depending on what you're doing to your lawn, if you're just overseeding existing grass, then you can get less based on what the overseeding rate. If you're going to be seeding from bare ground, chances are the seeding rate's going to be a little bit higher, so you're going to need more grass seed. You're also going to need to know the size of your lawn. So make sure you kind of have a rough idea of what the size of your lawn is so that you're not running too short or have way too much when it comes to putting down your grass seed. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to comment here, and I will be sure to help you the best that I can. And so I'll see you guys next time when we get out of the weeds into a beautiful lawn.